All right. This is the third episode of the Two Ball Podcast. Today's topic is Lakers trades. What's going on, Mikey? How we doing?
What's good? What's good? I mean, it's been a rough start to the season, but
Very
we
rough
can we could
start.
talk about some trades. That maybe it saves us. Probably not.
Right, and at the end of the day, these trades probably don't make too much of a difference, but some of them might,
Well, I
could
mean,
be. Some of the
we'll see.
little trades add up at the end of the day, and we can see what happens. So, Mikey, let's lead us off. Go ahead.
So before we get into the trades, Jovan Buha of the Athletic.
Yeah.
He's with the Lakers beat reporter. Basically, a report came out yesterday or today, either last night or this morning. He was saying that the Lakers view Pat Bev, Kendrick Nunn, Damian Jones, and 2027 first round pick as potential trade candidates. Basically, the Lakers at this point, they view those three players as disappointments, and
Yep.
I obviously. So yeah, that's just kind of the report. Just to kind of start with that, it kind of gives us an idea of what they're willing to do. Doesn't seem like they're really going to trade Russ at this point, but
Yeah, I mean, it's always possible if the right deal comes about, but I think at the end of the day, looking more to trade a guy like Kendrick Nunn, who's only averaging 5.9 points a game on very poor efficiency, shooting 30% from three. It's pretty rough for him. And Pat Bev has been, I mean, he brings
abysmal.
the energy on defense, but offensively, he's averaging 4, and three, and 23% from three. Just be honest, call it out is. So I think they could probably move on from those two guys, and then what's his name? Damian Jones doesn't even get PT most games now, which is interesting. But
Horrible. He's horrible.
yeah, he's not great. He's only played in 10 games, and he's shooting below 50% from the field. That's a big man, so
Yeah.
not
So
great.
kind of what's the first trade you got? Let me hear it.
All right, so the first one I have is actually pretty. This one is that's pretty big. This would be a trade I think that would be for the Lakers going forward in the future as well as present day. I'm not sure if it's
Hmm.
enough to make the deal done, but this is what my deal would be. So it would be Patrick Beverley, Kendrick Nunn, and both first round picks for OG Anunoby, and I think that's a trade that it's possible if the Raptors fall off that they could look to move OG, and I think that a team like the Lakers would be wise in swooping in and trying to throw their best offer at him because that's a guy that's young enough for the future and also good enough right now to help them right now. And those two picks being so as valuable as they are, and the money works and everything for that trade could be really really good for them. So what do you think about that?
See, love OG, love OG, great player, but is it worth giving up those two first for him? You
All
think?
right, but you're also but I mean that's a guy that can play for the next 7 years for the Lakers. It's not a
Right.
guy that's going to be gone, just going to be there for 3 years and he's gone. This is a guy that can play out the rest of his 2 years on his contract and then sign a 5-year extension. He's only 25 years old. Like he could play there until he's like 32, 30. Like so
Right.
that's a guy that could be long term. That could be a guy you pair with AD long term. Like if that's the route you want to go. So I think that could be a huge trade for the Lakers because if they were able to pull that off, I think that's a guy that could be a number two guy next to AD, like post LeBron.
You think?
To be honest,
You
I
think?
think it could be.
Yeah.
I think he is. I think he still could. The Raptors are a very weird team for him because they have so many wings that
Right.
like kind of.
Yeah.
So like if you put him as like the sole wing creator, I feel like he could definitely take a jump. And then I mean, he'd still be a number two anyway. So, but I think that could be interesting going forward. And then right now, I mean, he'd be great with LeBron
Yeah.
shooting wise, and he's a depoy candidate this year. So
Yeah. I haven't thought much about OG because I kind of view that even with the two picks as somewhat unrealistic. But
But yeah, yeah. I'm saying if the Raptors fall off a little bit,
yeah.
they might
Right.
move. Since he is only on a two, I think a 2 year, it might even be a 1+1. I'm not sure,
And there
but
were rumors in the summer that he asked out, but don't know how much truth there was to that. But I mean, OG would be interesting. It would be. Um, I
what's
don't
your next
know.
trade?
I don't know if I'm giving up two first, but all right. So the trade I got for you, it's kind of a basic trade, but we can get into it a little bit. It's Patrick Beverly, Kendrick Nunn, and the 2027 first for Miles Turner. So what do you think of that?
See, this is where I like. I don't. I would rather just go for OG at that point because if you can, but I feel like Miles Turner, as good as he is, he's just not consistent enough as a player to put to give up like to wage your franchise on essentially to give up a first round pick for him. It's I don't know, I'm not that high on him personally, to be honest. I don't know. I'm just not a big Miles Turner guy. And I don't. I mean, I think he could be really nice next to AD. At least AD can still go back to power forward. But like, does this trade really move the needle? I don't personally think so.
It doesn't
He,
move the needle, but I think it adds a guy who lets AD go back to what he's best at, being a roamer. Miles, I'll be honest, he's mostly hype. I've seen him play a couple games this year. He's not a guy I would necessarily like be excited for,
I mean,
like a
now,
OG. You know what I'm
now to
saying?
be now to be now to be fair, he is having a career year.
Yeah, but
Like I
it's
mean, 18 points a game, shooting 40% from three.
right.
Um, he's been like really really good. So like,
I think
this
the
is
idea of Miles Turner is better than Miles Turner.
yes, but he's also in a way like kind of breaking out.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah, for sure. I
he's
mean,
been he's good.
all due credit to him. I mean, he's been great, but I
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm giving up that 2027 first for him, to be
Well, we
honest.
want to stick on on the topic of Pacers trades. I actually created a pretty big Pacers trade.
Ooh, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
So it's gonna be this one is a little bit crazy. So just bear with me here. It's gonna be West. This is a Westbrook trade. Westbrook, Kendrick, and Max Christie, and the
Whoa,
two
whoa, whoa,
picks
whoa, 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 whoa.
for Buddy Hield, Miles Turner, TJ McConnell, and Chris Duarte.
All right. Hmm.
So you're getting like you're getting a really really good backup point
You're
guard.
getting four
A,
playoff players.
yes, in exchange for Westbrook and two players that don't play and the picks. But like, I think that's a trade that could really turn around the Lakers' like current season. But I also don't think that's a trade that would be as good long term. Well, actually, but then you have Chris Duarte and Miles Turner. To be fair,
Right.
and those two would be nice for the future. And I think that's if you really want to maximize LeBron's tenure as a Laker, I think that's a trade you look at. I think that's enough. I
You
think that's
you
enough
you
for those four
personally,
players.
are you making that trade
From the Lakers,
right now?
depends on
If
it depends on
the Pacers offer it tonight once they see this video.
depends on if you want to like so you want to go all in on LeBron AD.
No, I'm saying you personally. Your
No,
roster
no,
makeup.
I'm asking you in this scenario. Well, you know how I don't really personally want. I think it's just blowed up.
Right.
So do you
Um
think?
I
So
Chris Duarte is interesting, I'll tell you. But he
TJ
isn't
McConnell's good.
TJ McConnell. I love TJ McConnell. I don't know if Chris Duarte he's kind of like the main asset, I guess you could say, in that trade. Maybe you can argue Miles Turner is, but I don't know if it's worth giving up both first. And I'm assuming you meant unprotected, right?
I could see them doing like a
Top eight
2027
protected,
unprotected
maybe.
and like 2029 is like has a protection on it, like top five protected or something.
Okay.
But
Still, that doesn't really change much for me.
would you
It's
so you
interesting.
wouldn't do that personally?
I haven't thought
I've
about like the potential of a Duarte to Lakers trade at all. Actually,
yeah, but
it's
he's a guy that I
interesting.
think could be traded to the Lakers.
Yeah,
So
I'll be honest. This might sound biased. I do keep it 100. 2 years from now, I don't know how much better Chris Duarte is than Max Christie.
he's probably better than Max Christie.
In two
Chris Duarte's
years, yeah, he is.
yeah,
He is good. He's a solid player. I do like the idea of Max Christie. I don't think the Lakers are going to be able to pay him though.
yeah. I think Duarte he's on a 3 year deal as well. Keep that in mind. So is McConnell. So is Buddy Hield. So you have those guys locked down for a few years as well. So it's always
Right.
nice. So that's a good core going forward. Anyway, what's
Yeah.
your next trade?
So my next trade, staying on with the Pacers, we can go over this quickly. It's Patrick Beverly, Kendrick Nunn, 2027 first. You know, the trade that's been floating around for Buddy Hield. And then 2027 first is protected, lottery protected. If it doesn't
Um,
if it doesn't convey, it would be a
two
2020.
seconds.
It would, yeah, 2 seconds. Yep.
Yeah, I personally would rather just go for Miles Turner at that point. I think he's a better player and a better fit next to LeBron AD than Buddy Hield. I think Buddy Hield would be nice for LeBron, but I don't think he's like. I think Miles Turner would move the needle more personally than Buddy Hield. So
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to go too deep into that, but let me hear your next one.
yeah. All right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna give you, a big one, you want a little one.
I want them both. Nah. You go a little. We'll save some heat for the end. You know.
All right, this is like a very. This is probably my most proud trade. Little trade. This is a trade that it's a right now trade, but it's also a trade that I think they could keep this guy long term. Could be a nice player next to them. So the trade is Damian Jones and Max Christie in exchange for Kendrick Williams. I really like Kendrick Williams. I'm a big Kenny Hustle guy. I love Kenny. Um,
Gotta love him.
Kendrick's is really good. I think that I wouldn't be surprised if Thunder move on from him, and that's a guy that I think the Lakers could pick up for just giving like a guy like Max Christie to them.
Yeah,
I think that's very possible.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not doing that. If I'm Rob Pelinka, giving up on Max Christie, who has already shown like, maybe he could be like a Josh Hart type of player. He's a little bigger. I don't know. You can't really give up on him for a guy who's pushing 30, and I mean he's a great player. But he would be great next to LeBron, but it's kind of like the best of both worlds. Like I don't know if you could give up on Max Christie that early. You know what I'm saying?
It's fair, but it's just something we can. This is a little trade I thought of.
Yeah, I mean it's a possibility. I think it would be more likely that maybe the Thunder take a flyer on Wenyen if they're interested in him. I mean, Wenyen I feel like has some potential untapped, and they probably like there's some teams that are probably interested in him.
Yeah, I feel like Kenny Hustle's a guy that the Lakers should definitely target, though. I think that's a guy that I think they can get for pretty cheap, and I think that's a guy they can get that could impact
For
immediately
sure,
without giving up anything
for
crazy.
sure.
Maybe a couple of second round picks or something. Maybe do that pick. Maybe do the same trade, but it's Damian Jones, um, Wenyen, and like a second round pick or two or something instead. And I think that's good. It's a good trade.
Yeah, for sure.
My next trade I actually have, I'll do another little one. This is a very interesting one. I don't know how you feel about this. It would be Patrick Beverly, and I would say like pick wise, probably like 2 seconds for Alex Caruso and Tony Bradley.
Okay. You said one first and 2 seconds.
I said I just said 2 seconds. I mean, I was thinking about putting the first in, but I don't know. Is Alex Caruso really worth a first though?
I think he's worth a swap. If the Lakers had a swap. But
Yeah,
can you repeat the trade again?
it was Beverly in 2 seconds for Alex Caruso and Tony Bradley.
Damn, I like that a lot. Yeah, I think a trade like that, the Lakers are probably giving up one of the like some guy, whether it's like Wenyen or whatever.
Could
Like,
be.
there's got to be a player the Bulls like see and think, oh, he can help us.
Yeah. So I actually did make another Bulls trade. So this one's a big Bulls trade. It's a big one. So it's Westbrook, Damian Jones, Wenyen Gabriel, and Max Christie in exchange, and it's two firsts for DeRozan, Vucevic, and Alex Caruso.
Wow. Okay. Okay. That was the Heat.
That was the Heat.
Damn. It's. I'm not a big Vooch guy.
Yeah, but
I do not. I think talent wise, obviously you're adding a lot of talent, but like
so hold on, think about the starting lineup for a second.
right.
It would be Alex Caruso, DeMar DeRozan, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Nikola Vucevic.
Damn. Yeah, but can we keep it real? Is that's a rental, right? Vucevic is a rental, 100%.
Hmm.
You're not winning this year with that.
You could.
But at this point,
DeRozan's game changer, and so is Caruso
at
in
this
a way.
point in the season, you're getting to the point where, maybe the Bulls fall apart. Maybe they decide to blow it up in what, a month and a half. I
Hmm.
think at that point, it's it's too late to make like a rental trade like that. When like best case scenario at that point, let's say in the next month and a half, the Lakers go, I don't know, like 12-10, best case scenario, right? Is it worth it? You're still not even 500. Is it worth it to make a rental and trade for a guy like Vucevic when you can kind of just like tank the rest of the season?
I mean, you don't have your pick, so
Yeah, I mean, well, not tank the. But when I say tank the season, I mean hold on to your both of your picks. Let yourself get some salary cap. You'll have around 34 million to spend. You'll have bird rights to Russell Westbrook.
okay. But if you want to argue,
I don't think they'd
would you
re-sign him.
could you argue that DeRozan would be who would be better than DeRozan if the Lakers would end up actually getting realistically? Probably nobody.
Oh yeah, I mean
So
DeRozan's a great player, but still, like, it's not a good fit next to LeBron. I mean, obviously, way better fit than Russ, but like,
I mean, yeah, but I feel like you still do that trade.
so
If you're telling me that if the Bulls offered that, you wouldn't take it.
right now I would take it, but if in a month and we're 24 and 25, I'm not doing that. Definitely not. There's no point.
I guess. All right, give me another trade.
All right, so this trade, it hurts. It hurts. I think we briefly talked about this before. It's Max Christie, Damian Jones, and a 2027 top 8 protected first round pick for Sadiq Bey and Corey Joseph.
What was it again? What was the Lakers part of it?
It was Max Christie, Damian Jones, and a 2027 first. Top 8.
Yeah, 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 yeah. For Sadiq and
Corey
Corey Joseph.
Joseph. Yep.
Interesting. I feel like that trade gives the Lakers a nice player for the future, but also I'm not. I don't know. I actually okay. I made another trade. I'm just gonna. We can talk about it in a second. But I also made another trade for the Pistons. So I wanna. So I wanna. We'll weigh the two trades, and you tell me what you think. So this trade
With
is gonna be
Sadiq.
yes.
Okay.
So this trade is Westbrook, Damian Jones, and the two first for Bojan Bogdanovic, Alex Burks, Nerlens Noel, and Sadiq Bey.
Damn.
Yeah,
Okay.
another big one. So you're getting a nice center to put next to a nice starting caliber center to put next to AD, for 20 minutes a game. He's pretty good. Then you're getting a nice bench scorer with Alec Burks, and you're getting and then you're getting two starting caliber wings in Bo Young and Sadiq, who you can put. So then the starting lineup would be probably, I guess, still Pat Bev or Lonnie. Actually, probably Lonnie, LeBron, Sadiq, Bojan, and AD at center. So wait, actually, wait, no, AD and then Nerlens.
Hmm. Um. And what was the draft compensation in that trade?
Both picks. Both picks.
Both picks unprotected.
Probably. But you can probably do like the top eight protected for 2029 or
That's a
something.
very like win now move.
Yeah. But you're getting two starting caliber wings, a good six man in a starting caliber center. And all you're giving up is Westbrook and Damian Jones, player wise.
Hmm. Um.
Also, Alec Burks, when he's played this year, has been
Oh
pretty
yeah,
good.
he had
Solid.
like 6 threes against the Lakers. Killed us.
Yeah,
That's interesting. I have a trade kind of similar that I'll get into.
just for a little context, Alec Burks is averaging 15 a game, shooting
Damn,
40% from three.
damn. All right, let me know what you think of this trade. All right,
Go for it.
it's Russell Westbrook. This is a big one. Russell Westbrook, Kendrick Nunn, Damian Jones, 2027 first in multiple seconds for Olynyk, Rudy Gay, Mike Conley, and Malik Beasley.
Olynyk, Mike Conley, Malik Beasley, and
Rudy Gay.
yeah.
For
I th
Damian Jones, Russ, in a first and seconds.
I think that so it was Mike Conley, Rudy Gay, Malik Beasley, and
Olynyk.
Olynyk. That's a very win now trade as
Yeah.
well.
Very,
But
very
even
win
but
now.
even but even less so because at least you get Sadiq another one. I feel like that trade makes the Lakers like somewhat better, but like I feel like Mike Conley would be a nice point guard, and then Malik Beasley's really good too. He's been really he's been lighting the world on fire. Same with Olynyk, but I don't know. I just honestly I don't love the fit of Olynyk. Kind of think Rudy Gay's a little older.
Right. Definitely,
Uh,
definitely older.
I don't know. I like the trade. I think it adds a lot of depth to the Lakers, but it's like
Very win now. Very like
they're like a lot of those
rental.
players are older. Like if you look at like the trade with like the other trade, with the Pistons, like Nerlens is only like 28 or something. Wait, hold on. Yeah, he's only 28. And Alec Burks isn't that old. Like these are all like mid 20s, like early 30s players. But those are all like early 30s, mid 30s, late 30s
Yeah.
players. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like a very different thing. It would kind of remind me a lot of like a better version of last year's Lakers, where they're all like older players.
Oh
Now they're
man.
better older players, but like they're like, but still, it's like taking a bunch of older players. I don't think Rob Pelinka would do that, and I
Yeah.
think that's part of the reason they didn't do that trade was they don't want to run that back.
The
So
only way that I would see that trade happening is if they had like another trade on the table with Patrick Beverly's salary and then the other first.
for Jordan Clarkson,
For no. So in this scenario, they do that trade right with the 2027
mm-hmm.
first, and then they trade the 2029 first and
And Pat Bev for like City
Miles
Bev.
Turner's, something like that. Something that
Yeah,
like, and then now maybe you're a contender.
that is possible. Interesting.
But
All right, let's move.
I just don't see him moving both picks at the end of the day, especially this year.
Yeah, it's possible. I just want to run through a couple trades real quick because I want to see if. Hold up, 1 second. I'm gonna run through a few trades real quick. You tell me what you think. Just a couple rapid fire, just because I did a bunch. All right, so this trade is Patrick Beverly for Terrence Ross, straight up, and like 2 seconds for the Lakers to vote. Like Patrick Beverly in like 2 seconds for Terrence Ross.
I mean, that's all right. It's just kind of like it doesn't really move the needle.
Yeah, but that's another player next to the Lakers, like a secondary trade maybe potentially. All right, this trade would be Beverly, none, and a first for Josh Richardson and Pirtle.
That's interesting. Yeah, I would probably do that. It just kind of depends on Pirtle's contract situation. You know that
It's 1 year, 9 mil.
1 year 9 mil. Yeah,
Let's see.
he's a guy that could be long term next to AD though.
Unless he got an extension, which I don't think he did. No, yeah, no, he's a low value center type, like high value and a low contract center, so he's pretty good. I
Josh
think that's a good
Richardson,
deal. I think that's
solid player. You know,
yeah, it's another like wing player you got next to the Lakers, and you're only giving up one pick, and you got a nice center next to AD going forward. Kind of reminds me a lot of Zubac in a way, so that's like a good player to have. Definitely help the defense out, and then Josh Richardson would be a nice bench player. You could also sub that out for Josh Richardson for Doug McDermott, but
we're good on that. All
yeah.
right.
This trade. Wait, hold on, I got one more. Let me
You
do
got
one
one
more.
more? Yeah. All right.
Well, I have like a few more, but Pat Bev and Kendrick Nunn, and 2 seconds for Eric Gordon.
Pat Bev, Kendrick Nunn, 2 seconds for Eric Gordon. It's like kind of on like the same kind of topic, same thing like we were both saying before. Is like, does that move the needle? Like,
Probably not, but
like
it's just,
yeah,
it can help though. He's a good shooter.
it
Better
it,
than
it helps if it's like a secondary trade.
yeah. All right, and then one more, and I'll let you go. All right, I got Pat Bev for Derrick Rose straight up, and maybe like 2 seconds for the Lakers you throw in.
You said Pat Bev for Derrick Rose.
Yeah, Pat Bev in like 2 seconds for Derrick Rose.
I don't see that happening. I think Darvin kind of values defense too much. You know.
Possibly. All right, go ahead. Give me a trade. Those are some rapid fire ones.
So
Ones.
I'm out of trades, but I have a couple questions for you.
All right, go for it.
So what do you think the odds are, like percentage wise, that Russ is on the team when the season ends?
I think it's pretty high. I honestly don't. I'm pretty sure that he's not gonna get traded. I think they're gonna move Beverly and Nunn and stuff instead.
So you'd say what, 80, 70?
Probably like a 75% chance.
Okay, so what are the odds that the Lakers make the playoffs? Whether it's playing, 6 seed, just what do you think percentage wise?
As how constructed.
As currently constructed.
To make the playoffs, like 25% chance. To make the play-in, like a 65% chance.
Ooh. Ooh hoo hoo. All right. So so out of all the trades that we've talked about so far, the other ones we'll get into, what would be the best? So say you're Rob Pelinka, say LeBron has a gun to your head and he's saying you have to make one of these trades. It has to pan out. We have to make the conference finals. Which one are you doing?
Right. So actually the trade I've saved this is the most like maybe the least chance of happening. But if something were to go awry with this team's season, as it has been so far, I think there could be a blow up, at least somewhat of a blow up, at least with their older players on the roster. That if available, and if this trade was available for the Lakers to make, you instantly do it. It's a trade that I think puts them in instant contention.
Can I take a guess?
No,
Why
no,
not?
no guess,
Why?
no guesses.
Well, one guess.
What? Give me a team.
Is it Nets related?
No.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. So this would put the Lakers in instant championship contention, no matter what, I believe. And you're not moving.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
So the trade would be Russell Westbrook, Austin Reeves, Max Christie, and 2 first-round picks for Jimmy Butler and Duncan Robinson.
Absolutely not.
Wow.
You want to trade? I already told you how I feel about the whole Jimmy Butler kind of thing.
Explain.
I am not bro. Both first for Jimmy Butler, and you're giving up on Max Christie, Austin Reeves, who looks like. Sorry, I mean Austin Reeves. He's basically he's already Luka.
Austin Reeves is already prime MJ. We know.
Bro, he is, bro.
Nah, but like, listen, like, this is a trade that you put LeBron, Jimmy Butler, AD together. I think good things could happen.
Still, like with the same thing as like what I was saying about the DeMar trade is it's still like not an ideal fit. Like I would agree. Like I'll give up both first if you're trading for a guy that's like ideal, like Paul George, Beal, Paul George. Oh man, I suck.
Yo. Nah, but like, I think that Jimmy, would like just bring a whole new intensity to the Lakers. That could be like the moving
He'd
needle
bring
for
like
the team.
that Miami practice kind of vibe. Wake up at 4 a.m.
Possibly, man, that could be it. And then also just you know
So
that big three would be crazy.
that's the trade that you would do based off my question.
Yeah, I think that's the only trade that
Mm.
that's the only realistic trade, and it's only realistic because the Miami has been bad this year. It's the only realistic trade that I think they can make that'll actually move the needle at all.
So if
Like,
you were a GM,
like
and
okay, like,
let's
all right,
say
hold on.
all right, go ahead, go ahead.
All right, so like risk reward, right? So like, all right, well, let's say you trade for like the Pistons trade where you get all those like wing players and shit, right? All right, guess what? I still don't think that they would be. I don't see a world where they're like the number one championship contender. Like they're not gonna be better than Boston or Milwaukee. Like it's just, but there is a possibility that you put Jimmy Butler on a team and they are the best team in basketball, or at least they're one of the best teams. They could compete with the best teams in basketball, and that possibility is why. And Jimmy isn't like a Westbrook player where it's like, because Jimmy can do other things. Jimmy is
Oh
exceptional
yeah,
in defense. Jimmy is
he'll
an exceptional
contribute
passer.
with four
Jimmy is
points. You know.
yeah, but then he'll have games where he's like, yeah, he'll give you 37. You know what I mean? So Jimmy Butler is a guy that I think could actually move the needle like dramatically for the Lakers. Maybe not regular season necessarily, but they could maybe they're a 6th seed now
So
or they're
you're
5th seed.
saying give them 5 seed and just kind of take your chances.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, I think they're 5 seed. That's FFW. You're out of the play-in, and now you have Jimmy Butler on your roster to take over in the playoffs with LeBron on the wing and AD in the post. So I mean you have to fill in the extras, but I mean Duncan Robinson. I mean he could have a rejuvenation as a shooter. You never know. Like
So do you view that as realistic or no?
I think it just depends on how the season goes for the Heat. I think as currently constructed, the Miami Heat are the 11th seed in the Eastern Conference. They have a 10-11 record, and I don't see them being more than a play-in team in the East this year. And I think that if they continue to lose, and if we're 35 games in, and the Heat have like 6 or 7 more losses than they do wins. I think there could be rumblings of Jimmy Butler trades because of his age, and because the Heat might just
His
be like, all right,
contract. Yeah.
we might want to move in a more Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo direction, and we might want to just grab draft picks, grab Austin Reeves, Max Christie, younger guys, and just kind of move forward that way.
And just kind
And
of
also,
taking a flyer on Russ.
I mean,
I think that's one
I
of the
don't think
places. I think they'd give him a chance. I don't think they'd re-sign him. But I think that's a team that he could actually show some like maybe he's a 16, 7 and 6 guy, decent efficiency.
yeah, I mean, I listen, like, I mean, I don't know if he'll be there long term, but I think it's more about getting the draft picks. And I don't think that Jimmy Butler's value, especially with his contract, is going to necessarily be that high necessarily for a player of his caliber, especially because of the age. He's 33 years old. Like
Oh yeah, that would be
he's an
like
old
his,
player.
in my opinion, that would be like his max value.
But I don't think that the Lakers could like they'd have to give up everything for him still, I believe.
Yeah. So
But
staying on topic with the Heat, how would you feel about a Westbrook for Lowry and Duncan Robinson straight up swap?
without picks,
Yeah, the Heat.
I mean, I would do it but I don't think that moves the needle either
Yeah,
necessarily. I
no,
mean,
not necessarily. I think if both players like really outplay their contracts, and you still you have those two first, you can kind of move with Bev, Nunn. Maybe you trade, you know, whoever. But
also if I'm not mistaken, Kyle Lowry. Don't forget that huge thing with that. The reason I don't think that would happen is So Lowry is on a bigger con. Yeah, so he's not an expiring where Westbrook's an expiring.
Oh yeah, that's why the Heat would want to do it. You know, if they're terrible, it would kind of
Yeah,
just be like a get
I
off
mean,
Duncan Robinson's 4 year, get off Kyle Lowry's 2 year kind of
I'm
thing.
actually I'm actually gonna do some. Well, I think that was part of the reason that the trade would work for Jimmy Butler is you're also getting rid of Duncan Robinson's contract for them. Because like, don't forget, you're
It's
getting like
definitely a negative.
top
Yeah.
20. Don't forget. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's still, I think he still contribute to the Lakers. Though. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, like, obviously you don't want him because of the contract. But let me actually just check something. So, what if you did Lowry and Jimmy and Pat Bev? Let's see. Actually, so you could actually do it. So Westbrook and Pat Bev for Jimmy Butler, Kyle Lowry. That does work.
Wow.
So you could. There is a world where that would be possible,
There is a
and then
world where
maybe
the Lakers wouldn't have to give up Max Christie because they take on Lowry.
nah, you probably
You
still
don't think
do.
so? Or
Maybe, but
maybe they get to pick like say like one of Max Christie or Austin Reeves. I'm sure the Heat would pick Reeves, but
yeah, I think. Yeah, I think Reeves. So if you did Reeves and Kendrick Nunn, then you're throwing in Duncan Robinson too. That does work. So you could do Westbrook, Pat Bev, Kendrick Nunn, Austin Reeves for Jimmy Butler, Kyle Lowry, and Duncan Robinson.
wow.
I think that, and then the two first. I think that would be a trade that.
That's great for both sides.
Yeah, I think that just gets. I don't think you're getting rid of contracts if you're Miami and getting off of money, and then you're you know getting rid of your older players and stuff. So I think that's probably what I would do if I were the Heat, and I just was like, I just want to go full Bam and about. Bam has been amazing recently. If you haven't kept in touch, he's been
Oh
insane
yeah.
the last few weeks.
And
Um,
you're getting two
uh,
like very probably two first, especially if they do this trade. Those are probably two top 12 picks.
yeah, I think it's time just to build around Bam based on how he's been playing. That's how highly I think he's been playing. But I
So
also
just
don't think they're
loading
like,
up on assets and
yeah,
going from there.
I don't know if they have their pick or not, but they probably don't. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, that's all the trades I had. Actually, that's not true. I do have a couple more trades. If you want to hear them, want to
Yeah,
hear a
let's
couple
hear a
more?
couple more. Yeah, yeah.
All right, this one was just like Pat Bev 2 seconds for Torian Prince, Jordan McLaughlin. A little trade helps out.
Timberwolves will probably
Like,
love him back.
that's what I was thinking. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Torian
it's
Prince would. I
possible.
like Torian Prince. He'd
And
be a good
McLaughlin
fit.
could be nice too. Nice little backup point guard. He's not bad. And then the other trade would be if you want to get like a center, it'd be Pat Bev, Kendrick Nunn in like 3 seconds for Clint Capella.
I was actually looking at that. Hmm. Yeah, I don't think the Hawks value Clint. You said 3 seconds, no first.
Yeah, I don't think they really. So the thing with the Hawks is that because of a Kongwu, they don't really need Clint Capella anymore
Right.
because Kongwu is the center of the future and he's really good in defense and all that. So I think they just want to give him minutes at this point, and then I think it's kind of like, all right, well, Clint's just kind of here. So I think they're looking to get rid of him in a way. So maybe you give up Max Christie in that deal or something to help just get it done. But
Yeah, I
no,
mean, you're probably giving up some sort of asset. Whether
yeah,
it would hurt to lose Max Christie in that, but I think to kind of like go off that Clint thing, that's interesting because I think that he's very different from JaVale, but he's still like that kind of player where he's gonna just provide rim protection. He's not as good as like a lob threat anymore. Definitely getting
yeah,
up there, but that's
it's true.
interesting. In 3 seconds, I would do that tomorrow.
Yeah, I think it's possible that if and I think it's like a very like late trade deadline trade though, like at the buzzer, like they can't get anything else done, so they're like, all right, we'll just take some seconds and Max Christie and roll with it or something. So
You think the Hawks would trade him?
like I said, I think they're gonna go for a Conway for the future. So
You got
yeah,
any more trades?
nah, I don't got anything else.
All right. So that's episode 3. Got anything else to say?
Yeah, shout out Javon Carter.
Shout out Shout out Devon Carter. Shout out Lonnie Walker. You're killing it, man. Shout out horoscope.net. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and go out on that website. Get something for your girl. Get something for your mans. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so we're gonna wrap up the episode here. Shout out to those players. Episode 4, coming soon. Appreciate you coming on, and we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.